Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and all variations thereof, and welcome back to the D&D stream. Welcome back to Shadows of Sorcery, session 63. Part 2 of our murder mystery extravaganza. Joining me this evening, we have a full house. How many cards is a full house? Doesn't matter. We have a full house of players this evening. From the mining town of Hopewell, definitely not a reference, is Ingvar Svan, as played by Lydia.
Yo.
From the depth of the Fey realm is Arcus, the librarian, as played by Zarian.
Yeah.
From whereabouts unknown and probably abandoned as an orphan is Prodigious Maximus, as played by Elfie.
Hey now.
And last but not least, from a society of dwarves that has no concept of gender, but still somehow managed to make transphobia happen, it's Darren, as played by Lying.
Hello.
And I guess to make the full house, I'm your DM, Lucian V. Ghost. A full house of cards. Right. So, last we left off, you all boarded the Dawn's Light, a cruise ship bound for Necronir, a cruise skyship. You found yourselves in the company of a variety of different characters, including the Senthals, a family of traveling bards, the Groans, the Mr. March and Mr. Corrales, Devram and Frayne, and Mr. Hope, as well as a variety of crew members who you haven't really interacted with much. On the second day of your voyage, you all walked out to see the captain and another figure conversing in hushed tones outside Mr. Hope's cabin. Sending in an observer of the librarian's creation, you found a visual of Mr. Hope staked to his wardrobe, missing his eyes, and with claw slashes across his chest. There was blood all over the cabin, and it was a gruesome sight indeed. You are a couple of 1,000 feet above the surface of the planet, flying at speeds that generally cannot be caught up, which means that the only possible situation here is that a member of either the crew or the passengers killed Mr. Hope in cold blood. A murder, if you will. A mystery. And so, you embarked, the various members of this party embarked on finding out what happened, who did it, and why. And so, you've interacted with a variety of different characters, and you found out a few different things. The Senthals, the family of bards, are en route to Necronir to perform at some form of festival. You're not entirely sure what that might be. Mr. March and Mr. Corrales had originally booked, had thought that they had originally booked a cabin with 2 separate beds, but in fact ended up with 1 single large double poster bed. Devram and Frayne, the Anissa Devram and Roland Frayne are traveling together. They are apparently business partners, but as it turns out, they are also a dominatrix and her sub, of which Darren has found out about, and has also entered into a sort of agreement to enjoy himself in that situation. As I have repeatedly stated, they do not have to follow through on this agreement, but they seem to be very interested in it, so it's up to them. And you've also spoken briefly to the captain and a variety of other people. You've not spoken to the Groans, who've kept mostly to their cabin, a relatively elderly couple who've kept mostly to their own cabin and not really interacted with the rest of you. But yes, dawn rises on the 4th day. We went through days 1, 2, and 3 in the last session. So we have days 4, 5, 6, and 7 for you guys to solve this murder. As with last session, we will establish the same rules of play. Each of you gets 2 actions per day to run investigations, chat with people, all of that sort of thing. And additionally, I will say that a few of you have been waking up in weird places around the ship. You go to sleep in your beds, and then you roll the wisdom saving throw, and those of you that fail end up in random places around the ship. Some of you end up on balconies, some of you end up down in engineering somehow, even though realistically the crew should be able to see you get down there. But you all are getting full night's rests, so you're not entirely sure what's going on. So, with that being said, let us begin. It is day 4. Who is doing what? I've left all of your miniatures where you last woke up. So, Ingvar, you have woken up down on the engineering deck just next to the kitchen. Librarian, you succeeded your saving throw. You wake up in bed, perfectly fine. Darren, you also wake up in your room. And Prod, where did you end up? You ended up in the cargo hold, in the forward cargo hold, standing over the coffin. So,
Uh-huh. Did we check to see that there was a body in the coffin?
Nope, we didn't open it.
you didn't open it, but you did sense preservative magics coming from it, librarian.
Yep.
Alright.
It does have, like, a couple of locks on them, but they don't look very strong.
Yeah, can Prod just bust it open and see what's going on in there? Because he's woken up standing over it, and that's fucking scary.
Sure. Roll me a strength check to bust open the locks.
A strength check? You're asking me, Prodigious Maximus, for a strength check? That's a 13.
I mean, you bring, like, the pommel of your sword down on these iron locks, and realistically, they're probably easily pickable. But that doesn't mean they're weak.
Okay.
And you do
Can
manage
Prod
to
try
dent
again?
one, but you don't manage to get through.
Can I use my luck?
You can use your luck to re-roll it if you like, yeah.
I'd like to use my luck and re-roll that one. Come on. Come on, baby! Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, no.
Feeling worse.
And you do give this a damn good go, and for a moment you're like, I can't believe it. And then you hear from behind you a sort of gruff voice go, excuse me, sir, can I help you with something? And you see a relatively heavy-set human standing behind you. He's got, like, a belt of engineering tools, scraggly beard, unkempt, graying salt and pepper hair, and he's standing on the other side of the barrier to the cargo hold, and he's sort of looking at you, not necessarily worried about what you're doing, but definitely curious.
Okay. So Prod's gonna go, yes, I put one of my swords in these crates. We were traveling with them. I think it was this one, but my key doesn't seem to work. Do you think it's and I'm using my actor profession. Alfie's not quite in the headspace to do
that's
this.
Fine.
But Prod's using his actor profession to basically blag that he thinks this is his particular bit of cargo, and he's left a sword in there that he'd quite like to polish.
So roll me a deception check and add the bonus that your actor profession gives to it.
So it'll be deception, but it'll be with advantage.
Yeah, so roll it twice.
Ba-doo. Well, that's 9. So not that. Hopefully. Deception. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. That's a 14.
That's a 14. Okay. This engineer figure looks at you for a moment, goes, right, you're aware that that's a coffin, right? And I can't help but notice, but you seem to have 2 swords across your back. So unless you're carrying a 3rd sword in Ms. Devram's coffin, I don't really see why you would want to open that.
Oh no. So, firstly, Prod sort of looks at the coffin and rubs his eyes like he's like just woken up and goes, Oh, bugger, this isn't it, is it? Oh, that would explain it. And then he's gonna, like, rummage through the rest of, like, the cargo, pretending to look for a crate. And he's gonna go, look, I may have 2 swords already, but you might notice that my entire job is sword, so I actually have quite a few.
Well, I'll take your word for it, certainly, but if you don't mind, cargo should generally, if you're looking for something specific, we have it all inventoried, and we would appreciate if you let us know what you want to look for, and then told us so that we can make sure that everything's kept properly organized. I hope you don't mind, sir.
Fantastic. I got my friend to pack it all up for me, so I actually have no idea what box it's in. Right, where do you keep this inventory, my love?
Oh, the inventory isn't available to the passengers. You just tell us what the box looks like, and we can go get it.
Right, I'll have to talk to my companion then. I thought I could do this on my own. Never mind. Right. Thank you, by the way. What's your name again?
I'm Keller, sir. Keller Nayek.
Keller, thanks a lot. Maybe I could get you a drink after, in this evening. Maybe not this morning. Just to thank you for your time.
I don't usually drink while on a voyage, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Alright. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. I go back to the room.
That is your first action of the day. That is not your room.
That's not my room. Can you put me in my room, please?
This is your room.
Thank you.
Okay.
I keep waking up in really fucking weird places.
Oh, that was me yesterday. I think it tried to make me commit suicide or something.
What? Why are we waking up in strange places? Was this part of the curse that we kind of half uncursed ourselves? Or is this an entirely new curse?
Oh,
I'm
this
really
is a
sick
new
of this
curse,
shit.
I'm pretty sure.
This is new. This is
Oh,
Yeah, this
fuck's
has
sake.
fresh curse energy. Smells like a fresh curse.
Babes, you're the person who knows magic the most, mostly. Can you identify whatever the fuck this curse is?
It would need to be active, but I guess I can try.
A quick nap.
Ritual cast identify on prod.
I mean, other than the various bits and pieces that you already know about, there are no traces of any curse, as far as you can tell.
Wait. Does this reveal the fucking possessed armor to me now that I think about it?
You have identified the Mortis armor before. In order to get all the effect of the armor, as we have stated in the past, you need to roll an Arcana check. So if you want to roll it's been enough time since you did that last ritual cast of Identify that you can roll another Arcana check to see what it is. And if you roll well, you might get more information.
I'd like to do that. 1 second.
Okay, roll me an Arcana check.
Goodbye, dice. 26.
Okay. Alright. The Mortis Armor. The Mortis Armor is a set of blackened plate armor fabricated during the Second Age by a blacksmith who also happened to dabble in necromancy. It has the symbol of the Order of the Black Rose emblazoned on its chest, and intricate floral patterns are strewn across its surface. However, the metal itself is scorched and ashy, as if it was recently pulled from a burning building. It emanates an aura of dark magic and is ice-cold to the touch. When worn, the Mortis armor gives an AC of 19 and does not give disadvantage on stealth checks. Additionally, As a bonus action, it allows the wearer to step into shadows that are close by and emerge from shadows within a 60-foot radius. When the Mortis armor is identified, the person casting the spell must also roll an Arcana check with a DC of 20. On a success, the following information is pertinent. When worn, the Mortis armor binds itself to the person wearing it, meaning that if they ever take the armor off and then proceed to sleep, they will wake up having donned the armor once again. When in combat, every time the wearer takes damage, roll an extra d6 necrotic damage. If the wearer dips below 25% health, stop telling them the amount of damage they take. If the wearer dies while wearing this armor, they will keep fighting as if they were perfectly healthy. They will continue to survive in this state for a period of time equivalent to their constitution score multiplied by a d4 roll when they die. Healing spells and potions will not affect the wearer. Resurrection spells will only work once the armor is removed and will take into account the amount of time since their actual death. The armor cannot be removed naturally and cannot be unattuned from naturally. To remove the armor, the wearer must roll a wisdom saving throw with a DC of 30, or use a wish spell. If the wearer died while wearing the armor, once it is removed, they will drop dead. Once the wearer dies, the armor can be removed, but it will take the period of a short rest to unattune itself from its wearer. This has been another use of the Identify spell.
Thank you, Brennan Lee Mulligan. I love you. That doesn't say it to them out loud, right? It's just in my head.
That's just... No, as we've established, the Identify spell does just say things out loud to everybody.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay.
So that you just, you cast a ritual spell, and, an ethereal voice just started talking to you and Prod in that room.
Hey, voice! La 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 la. Hey!
Okay, we can deal with that later.
Don't tell the others, please.
As a note, I will say that you only got the Mortis armor out of that because it's the biggest thing on Prod, and there was nowhere else for the spell to go.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would have given you, if you'd aimed it at something else, I would have given you information on that.
Yeah, I was just going for, a general vibe check,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess I did kind of specifically mention the armor. Yeah. Look, we can talk about your love of obtaining cursed objects later.
It's cool.
Yes.
Right.
It's cursed and super dark, magic-y, and also you could die without knowing.
Look, it's fine. It's fine. I've died, kind of.
What do you
before.
mean you were rock? That's not the same thing.
Look. Okay. My dearest Arcus. I am so unafraid of dying. One might call me suicidal. So it's absolutely fine that I've got so many cursed objects. Because I need to do this. Okay? I need to be a hero. I need to get everything done. I need to be fucking Callist's favorite. And I will be. So I don't care that it's cursed. There's a little guy in here that talks to me occasionally. I don't mind. They're quite helpful.
Wait, so it's also possessed? That's new. That was not in the... It's possessed?
Anyway.
No, what? Who's
don't just roll over that. Hey, guys! Guys!
Huh? Yep.
That's a good point. Are you still in your room?
I am, yeah.
Darren is.
Oh, hey, Darren. Hey, I found out who owns that coffin. It's Mrs. Davron's.
Which one was Mrs. Davron? I can't remember.
What's Mrs. Davron?
Devram.
Devram.
Is that the dominatrix?
Yes.
Oh hell. Great. Love this.
Preservation spell from a dominatrix.
Okay, so
Oh, do you think she's into corpse stuff?
I really hope
Yeah.
not. I really hope
Looks
not.
at her whole aesthetic.
I
No!
might be finding out later. So so I met with her last night, and she seemed mostly on the level. She kind of just like deals in selling people houses and whatnot. I now understand a lot more about the relationship with that Dragonborn guy than I did before. But we still need to see inside of that room. So, great. Thanks for telling me that the coffin is also hers.
You're so welcome. Also, I think someone's onto me. Oh yeah. Fuck. Hang on. Let me go into your quick talk, guys. Quick talk. Let's let no one hear this.
Okay. This is a bit of a tight squeeze. This is meant for one person.
I
I'll
keep
people.
waking up in
Ingvar
places
stays in here too.
that I'm not supposed to be. I woke up standing over that fucking coffin. I woke up next to the captain's quarters yesterday. This is not cool. There is something else possessing me right now. That's something abnormal possessing me. The
Apart from the armor.
normal amount of possession happening. I don't like it. I like myself being able to control myself, except for when I'm not controlling myself, in which case it's kind of hot. Not the point.
So, wait, you said you woke up by her coffin?
Yeah.
Is that the one that you were trying to get into yesterday?
Yeah.
Librarian, can you fix my lockpicks? I'm probably going to regret this, but that's probably worth a shot now.
Yeah, sure thing. Can I use my tinkering tool to speed up the time it takes to mend them, as well as cast the mend cantrip?
I mean, you can't really have half an action per day.
Oh wait, it
So-
costs an action per day. No,
It
I thought it
costs-
was it took a while longer than like a day to mend them, but if it's just an action,
you
sure.
You get 2 actions per day, and it takes 1 action to fix the lockpicks at the end of the day.
Okay. I'll do that at the end of the day then. And
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
not. Sorry. What I mean by the end of the day is that's how long it'll take an action, regardless of when you do it.
oh,
Yes.
okay. Then I will take an
Sorry.
action to mend them.
Right. Much obliged. I guess I know what I'm doing today.
Okay.
Um,
You have your lockpicks back. In the
Right.
meantime, Ingvar, you woke up down in the engineering area of the vessel, standing over a large metal tube of some sort. You're not entirely certain. You wake up and you're like slumped over this sort of window into this big metal tube. And you look around just as a sort of sallow-looking figure is walking down. A pair of figures actually are walking down from what seems to be the crew berth area, the crew quarters, a bunch of hammocks that are strung up down in this lower decks area. One of them is a sallow-looking human, maybe in his early 30s, clean-shaven, but looks like he hasn't slept in weeks, and also like he hasn't seen the upper deck in weeks either. Next to him is a tiefling, a blue-skinned tiefling, with sort of a heavy chef's apron over the front of his normal clothes, and they're walking down towards you, and they're like edging their way towards you as if you'll spook and run away. And one of them's like, Excuse me. The sort of blue-skinned tiefling goes, excuse me, sir. Are you lost? Can we help you?
Ingvar just kind of pops his head up and goes, "The fuck? Where am I?"
You're in. Well, you're almost in the galley, sir. The kitchen. I don't know if you speak Sky Sailor parlance.
He knows a couple because his brother's a pilot, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know what a galley is.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm just a little confused because I went to sleep in my bed last night and I woke up here. Did I sleepwalk or?
You really should tell the captain about that. Sleepwalking can be a serious problem on a sky ship or on any ship, to be quite honest. I mean, if you sleepwalk over the side, there's nothing we can do about that. I'm afraid.
That's quite all right. I'll just call on Kazuma. He's like a medium-sized dragon. He'll catch us.
Yeah, we've been. You don't mind if we feed him a few. He likes the offcuts from the meat we serve at dinner. You don't mind, do you?
Not at all. Anything to keep him happy.
Oh, good. But I'm really sorry about this, sir. But realistically, we're not meant to have passengers down in this area. There's sensitive equipment and all of that sort of thing. So if you could just head back up to the main deck, and we'll let the captain know about the sleepwalking habits, just so that we can make sure you don't go over the side in the night. It's a bit of a problem for us. You understand?
Of course. And he looks around. Can you point me towards the stairs?
Yeah. If you just head through the gallery and just up on your left, we'd appreciate it. And the sort of sallow-looking young man nods as well and sort of gestures along. And yeah, there's a pair of stairs that lead to the sort of crew deck, the passenger deck rather, that are just over this end.
Oh, thank you, fellas. I will do just that. And he gives them a small wave as he heads up the stairs.
Okay. You exit the crew deck here, and find yourself on the passenger deck, in sort of the main dividing areas between your party's cabins and the rest of the ship. You hear hushed voices coming from inside yours and Darren's cabin.
And he just kind of raises an eyebrow and heads over to the door.
Okay. Do you knock or do you just open it?
He kicks it open.
You kick the door open. You kick. All three of you are standing in Darren and Ingvar's cabin, and then suddenly the door behind you thumps as the inward opening door is kicked and doesn't open.
Well, shit.
I think someone's at the door.
You hear the words "well shit" from the other side. It sounds like Ingvar.
I am drawing a knife, and I am gently opening the door.
Ingvar stands on the other side.
What?
Knock, knock.
What in the gods below is wrong with you?
I just wanted to be dramatic.
Well, you accomplished that. Leave that to the theatre kid. Gesturing to Prod.
Nah. I've been dramatic once in my life.
Oh yeah, Darren.
Huh?
You just needed thieves' tools for this, right? That's what you wanted me to fix.
Yeah, I need the lockpicks working
Oh,
again.
here you go.
Right,
I have
the
thieves'
door.
tools.
Oh, lovely.
I'm gonna
so
swap
you're
until I
not
fix these.
using your action?
No, I'm still gonna fix them so I have an active pair at some point, but I realized that I have a fully repaired pair, so I can just give them, so they don't have to wait a day.
These are nice.
Well,
Is that
you
Russ
don't
inland?
have it just takes an action. You don't have to wait a day.
Excuse me?
You can just use an action to give him
Oh.
his fixed.
I thought that you said the end of the day it would be done. Okay, I was confused.
No, I did clarify that I was using a turn of phrase to... Regardless. You fix them. They're fixed. It doesn't really make a difference.
Hey,
These are
I
really
don't know what the
nice.
artisan turnaround times are these days.
Well, I mean, you've got mending and the like, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason that we are limited in our actions for this particular section is because otherwise we would basically solve everything in one day.
Yeah. So I'm giving you 2 actions per day. So
Okay.
Prod and Arcus, you have both used your first actions for the day, so you have 1 each left. Ingvar and Darren, you both have 2 actions today. So what do you guys want to do?
Well, now
you
that
were
I've got a pair
talking
of...
about the sleepwalking problem.
Are we? Right, yes we were. Okay.
Oh yeah. I have a solution actually. I was thinking about it since I almost died yesterday.
Oh?
Huh?
I think we all have these really cool things in our backpacks, and I pull out a length of rope. We
I
just
mean,
tie our ankles to the bed.
It can't just be us, though. Surely.
Oh no, it must be everyone, otherwise they would notice, surely.
Yeah.
I mean, I managed to end up in the engineering deck for some reason. It's like, I don't even know how I got down there.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, I can also try and cast alarms at all of your doors.
I mean, that might help. If nothing else, it'll keep us from being murdered. But no, surely the crew must have been going walkies as well, right? Or is it something specific to us, possibly?
Hmm. We might be being targeted.
But then, why... You said you nearly died?
Yeah, like I think they tried to make me walk off the back of the ship's balcony, but they
Okay.
didn't quite get me there.
But if all of us are being targeted, why didn't they just make basically all of us walk off the nearest ledge?
Yeah, like enchanting magic of that scale is pretty
There's
intense.
a balcony,
Maybe they couldn't.
like, right by the bar, right by this room.
Maybe it's just some kind of suggestion over a command spell. Like, get out of your general area to try and disorient all the passengers.
Maybe. I think it might be the Bard family that's responsible for that, but I don't... From the way it's working, I don't think it's necessarily intentional.
I mean,
It's inconvenient, that's for sure.
the advantage is it gets passengers to open their doors without them realizing.
That is a good point.
So if someone was trying to steal from everyone, that would be probably a pretty good thing to do, regardless of the murder, which...
I'm just gonna quickly search the room here and see if anything's missing.
Sure. Yeah, roll me an investigation check.
I believe that's one of my good ones. Yep, can't roll lower than 21.
He just turns around and just finds the melted pile of gold gone.
21.
Okay. Give me a D8. Roll me a D8.
3.
Take a look at the miscellaneous section of your inventory and tell me what's at number 3.
Miscellaneous section of my inventory. So the backpack section?
Yeah.
Okay. Water skin?
You find out that your water skin seems to be missing. You might have just mislaid it at some point, but it seems like a weird thing to get stolen.
Well, either they're really bad at robbing people, or I don't know. Maybe they have a fixation on water, because I don't think we've been robbed. And clearly, both of us have been walkabout a couple of nights here, so.
They're the only people that had enchanting magic with the Bard family, if I remember correctly, from a little
that's why
perusal.
I think it's them, and I think there's a
So
non-zero
as a note,
chance.
the reason you know that the Bard family has enchanting magic is because you've seen them use it while performing, or rather while practicing. Magic, only magic that is extremely powerful leaves major traces. That doesn't necessarily mean that no one else is capable of using enchanting magic. It just means that you haven't seen them doing it in the act.
Have I ever seen traces after the mass enchanting spell? Because that seems like a pretty powerful spell.
You tried, but by the time you'd fully woken up enough to realize what was happening, any traces seemed to have vanished.
The little girl seems really intent on learning the family trade. I wonder if the sleepwalking is just accidental while she's been practicing.
That seems like a pretty powerful accident.
Well, it wouldn't be unheard of, would it? Let's
I mean,
sure they're
that-
magical savants.
I mean, magical savant is one thing. A little girl casting what is the equivalent of like a 6th level or 7th level spell is another.
What are these levels of spell you keep mentioning?
Oh, you get like a little name tag each time you get more powerful as a mage.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We call it a level.
Oh, I see. Well, it's the best lead we've got, really, and honestly, I don't think it's related. It seems too uncoordinated. Like they could have just basically gotten us all to jump ship like 2 days ago, if it was an intentional act. And plus, if they did that, the doors to our rooms would be open, and there would be no one to raise alarm about it.
There is one thing that I want to find out about.
Oh.
What the fuck is in that empty room?
Yeah, I'm curious, and I kind of think I need to find out what's in that coffin as well. At least before my little hookup tonight.
Your rendezvous.
Yeah.
I mean, if you tell me when that is, I can like slip the observer in there as well. And just be like, aha, I'm looking through your luggage while you're doing it. Not that way.
I would
Oh
prefer
my.
I would prefer you didn't slide anything in during that particular moment in time.
That's when they're most distracted. I'm not gonna be looking at you, that's boring.
Okay, how about
Wow!
you deal with the mysterious locked room that seems to have conjuration magic on it. I'll have a poke around that coffin and see if I can find out what's in that. And then we will never speak of what I do tonight.
We just spoke about it twice, but okay, I'll see you
We'll
at
never
dinner.
speak again of what I will do tonight.
Never speak of the deed.
Okay. So, you guys file out of the cabin. It is still early morning. Breakfast is being served on the main deck. If you guys want to go and gain food.
Increase my food stat.
Increase your food stat, yes.
How much XP do I get from this food and beverage?
I won't tell you.
Right,
What I can tell you
while everyone's
is...
up busy having food, I'm gonna deal with the coffin. While everyone's getting food, I will take advantage of the empty corridors to get a look at this coffin.
Okay. Yeah,
Assuming that the
sure.
dude currently stood right by the mass is no longer there.
What? Oh, Keller. Keller, seems to have disappeared somewhere else in the ship.
Right, okay.
So you're taking your first action to take a look at this coffin, right?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I mean, are you just gonna open it up, or?
I'm gonna try.
All right. Roll me a sleight of hand.
Come on, dice, be nice. That is a 19.
Okay. It's easy enough. Like, you suspect that if I were to put this in an RPG term, the difficulty rating on these locks would have been a 50. You snap them both open really quickly, furtively checking to see if there's anybody around. There's nobody around as far as you can tell. And you lift open the coffin. Yeah. There is a body in there, despite what Tailspire might tell you. The body you see in there is an elven man. Elves are difficult to really age, but this one's old. And you don't usually see, like, old elves, but this guy's fucking old. Like, for a human, he looks like he'd be in his 80s. His eyes are closed. He has his hands crossed over his chest. He's wearing what look to be dark robes of some sort, like flowing black silk robes. On his over his heart, there is a pin in the shape of a crescent moon with a spider sitting on the crescent moon. A small, like, silver spider sitting in the moon itself.
Is that an icon that I recognize?
No, not one you're familiar with, anyway. It's definitely not of any religion that you know of. But additionally, you haven't spent much time around elves. You don't know what their culture is like. You don't know what this symbol could possibly mean. The other thing you notice is this man is alive.
Pardon?
He's alive. He's breathing. Very slowly.
Okay.
Like, very, very slowly. Like, he takes in a breath maybe every 10 minutes. But he is breathing.
God, no wonder there's preservation magic on this thing. On the one hand, this feels like something I should bring to somebody else's attention. On the other hand, I feel like waking this guy might be a bad idea.
Oh.
Just put the lid on and pretend
Yeah,
it doesn't exist.
I'm gonna slide the lid back on and leave this as though I didn't open it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to make my way to that breakfast.
You lock up the padlocks and you make your way up to the main deck.
Nonchalantly, as though nothing is of.
That is
nothing
your
of
action
importance
for the
happening.
morning. Right. Ingvar. What's
Ingvar.
your first action of the day?
Well, Ingvar's got something on his mind. Because
Okay.
where was Mr. Hope's room?
Mr. Hope's room is over here.
It's the single bed at the end, I think.
So whoever went for Mr. Hope had to pass Kazuma.
Yes.
Ingvar's got to speak with animals.
Okay.
I'm thinking he has to speak with animals on himself and then talk to Kazuma.
Okay, sure. So you go to Kazuma, who's nonchalantly resting on this pile of rugs, the corner of one of which has been completely torn to shreds. And you cast Speak with Animals, and Kazuma sort of turns to you, cocks his head, and awaits your queries.
Wonder what Kazuma sounds like.
Oh god. I imagine a deep voice, but I'm just also it'll just feel like at the completely other end of this high pitched squeaks.
Does he talk in Cockney rhyming slang?
I involve.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Ingvar just immediately regretting his life choices there.
It's a murder!
Yet. You don't know what he sounds like yet, so go ahead. Ask your questions.
He just looks up at him and just goes, "Hey, bud. I got a question for you."
Oh? Question? Yeah, question? Got a question?
Yeah, I got a question.
Question. What is...
God almighty.
Question?
But do you see this room behind me on the left? Did you see anybody approach that room last night?
No. Maybe?
I know he's got low intelligence, but Jesus Christ.
Maybe. Yeah. There was a thin man who walked past, and he gave me some it's red, and it tastes like the things you don't like me chasing.
Huh?
The things that get the fluffy white things stuck in my teeth that takes ages to get out and poke real bad.
Oh, right, yeah. Did tall man look bad? Like sneaky like?
No, he smelled like food. And I like food.
Today we learned the jargon is food motivated. Okay.
The description Kazma is giving you reminds you of the assistant chef you met earlier today. And you did know that they'd been giving Kazma scraps and stuff. So.
Yeah. Alright, bud. Well, I
as a note, you asked about the night before, but the murder happened 2 nights ago. Just to make sure.
What? In that case, can you remember 2 nights before? Was there anybody sneaking? It's okay if you can't, bud.
There was noise. Like, like when I scratch things, but that you don't want me to scratch. But then noise like when I scratch things you do want me to scratch. And then, smell of red stuff.
Nah, so he heard the attack and smelt the blood.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't see anybody actually walk by at that point.
No. Nobody. Do you need me to see someone?
No, we were just curious. We're just looking into something at the moment. We're just trying
Okay.
to investigate.
Can I have scritches?
Of course. And he gives him the best damn squishies he can.
You feel Kazma just vibrate underneath you, just massive rumbling dragon purrs.
Get by. I thank you for the information. Would you like me to bring you anything back from breakfast?
What's
Food-wise.
breakfast? Food.
Food.
Things that taste like the squealy things.
Bacon. Got it.
Is that what that is? Cool.
Thank you, buddy.
Bacon.
Bake.
Bacon.
I'm just imagining a fucking Homer Simpson drooling image of that.
Bacon!
As a note, Kazma is like less than 4 months old.
Baby!
He's a baby.
Baby.
He doesn't know what half of these things are. He's still learning.
No,
We had him commit murder.
Yep.
It's okay. He doesn't know what murder is.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
doesn't know right
He
nor
doesn't
wrong,
know what
therefore
murder
Kazuma
is.
cannot sin.
All he knows is that sometimes you don't want him to scratch wood, but you do want him to scratch people. Oh, yeah.
He gives him one last squitch before he heads up to join for breakfast.
Okay. Yeah, you head up to the main deck for joining people for breakfast. At breakfast, you see a few different people. You see Claire Groan, the elderly woman who's been in her cabin most of the time, very, very reserved woman. You see Mrs. Senthal, who is taking breakfast. You see Mr. Corrales, the dwarf, and his pet dog. And you see a white dragonborn, Mr. Roland Rain, who is very nervously filling up a pair of plates.
Interesting.
I'm gonna want a word with them.
Okay. Yeah. In the meantime, what are you two doing, Arcus and Prop?
Rod.
Uh,
Oh, Arcus, you go first.
I'm going down to the locked room with that weird fucking illusion magic shit happening in it, and I'm dragging Prod with me.
So
If they're
you're
willing to come.
going to Mrs. Devram's cabin.
No, the one across from
No, the locked room,
The empty.
The
in
empty
air-
the
cabin.
empty locked
The
room,
empty
but there was
cabin
some weird
has no
magic coming
illusion
from
magic
there.
going on. The
Oh,
illusion
I thought
magic
I-
you detected was coming from Devram's cabin. The
Anyway,
empty
locked
cabin
room.
has, as far as you can tell, has no magic in it. In fact, it's kind of a dead spot of magic in this area.
Well, if the third book of the Artemis Fowl series has taught me anything, and it has not taught me a lot, it's that the dead spot is probably where some fucking smart ass is hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I could have
God,
told you
I'm-
that from Star Trek.
I haven't read them books in years. Good lord.
Yeah.
I have them all. Well, no, I'm missing one. I'm missing the last one, but admittedly, the last one was a travesty of writing. I don't think the author was particularly pleased to be writing it.
I
Was that
after the demon one that was just
Discord.
Discord?
Nothing else.
Regardless, you both head to the empty cabin.
Yahoo!
Okay. So yeah, you head to the empty cabin. It is locked as it was before. There's no magic coming from inside, as far as you can tell.
Okay. I would like to attempt to pick the lock.
Okay. Sure. As a note,
Actually, wait a minute.
Darren rolled a 19 last time and it broke his lockpicks, so...
Yeah, was it 19 total?
It was 19 total, I think, yeah.
Yeah, which for me is
Okay,
just
let me run some numbers real quick.
and I
Girl,
can't roll lower than 17.
Just put your fucking little guy under the door like you did with the other one.
Oh yeah.
Put your guy under the
I
door.
cast Scuttlebug.
Okay, you bring out the Observer. There you go. You bring out the Observer, and you send it under the door. The first thing you notice is that the cabin is most definitely not empty. For a start, there's furniture and, well, there's weird furniture in there, a couple of cages, and a pair of tall, robed, masked figures that are just standing still, silently, not moving. Oh, and affixed to the roof of the cabin, there's like this half-moon shape as well.
Hey, Prod.
Yes, my love.
There is additionally a desk on the far wall that has some papers on it, and there's a rather large iron coffin on one side of the room.
What is
Okay, so
with the
first-
ship and coffins?
First things first. There's a lot of people in here. Like, there's at least 3, like, hooded figure kind of things. They're unmoving. 2, sorry? 2 hooded figures. Sorry, I was just talking to God there, Prod. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I do it too.
Okay. Second, there's a coffin in there. And third, there's some kind of cultist symbol that's like a half moon. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
No, not a cultist symbol. I mean, just like, there's a half orb stuck to the ceiling.
Ooh, could be like
Half
an egg.
orb, like a demisphere, or like a
Just like
what?
Just like a half sphere. Just like there's half a sphere poking out of the ceiling.
Like a boob light.
Okay,
Like,
yeah,
like
is
a
it
boob
the
light,
sphere is
sure.
not
Like a boob light.
shit's name. You don't just say there's a ceiling cube and leave it at that.
There's a ceiling boob. There you go.
There's a boob light. There's a half sphere boob light in the ceiling. Fuck
Okay,
it, why not?
all right. I thought you said half moon originally. Anyway,
No, I said half orb, but
okay.
I get where the confusion could come.
I also heard half moon, which I thought was connected
Apologies.
to the other coffin.
Yeah, that's why I was
No.
picking up on it.
No,
It was
different
like,
thing.
oh,
There
okay.
is a
Anyway,
half sphere shape in the ceiling.
Boob light.
all right. Boob light in the ceiling. Does the lighting in here seem different from the other rooms?
No. I mean, there's
Have the
like
windows
one
been covered if there's
lantern
any?
on the wall that's letting out a dim light. I mean, admittedly, this room is definitely not as well lit as the other rooms. But from what you can tell, it's basically unused. Like, there's cobwebs all over the walls and everything.
And these 3 figures, did we see these at the start of the
2 figures.
Sorry, 2 figures. I keep thinking 3.
I mean, they are recognizable in that you did see them at the start of the voyage.
yeah, these are the guys that left quotation marks.
These are the guys that were loading a crate into the cargo hold as you were on the main deck. And one of them looked up at you and had bright golden eyes. And their lower faces are covered, they're wearing like heavy black robes, and they are not moving at all. In fact, as your observer looks up at them, the place where their eyes are is just like a blank, dark void, as far as you can tell. But it's just like either they have their eyes closed and their skin is pitch black, or there's just nothing there.
Okay. You said there was like a writing desk or something as well as the coffin, right?
Yeah, there's a large desk that's sort of set into the far wall with some papers on it.
Okay. I would like to, as the observer, try and sneak further into the room to read what's on the desk, like what those papers are. I'm gonna act under the assumption that if I make too much noise or something, it might wake these things, so I'm gonna try and be stealthy.
Sure, roll me a stealth check.
Okay, one
You're
second, I need to find the
observer.
observer sheet real quick. Normally have this up, but I didn't think I would be using library things today for some reason.
Library.
Labubby.
Le bubby?
Labubby.
Le bubby!
Okay, so... Brain, what is stealth? Stealth is dex, plus 3, okay. What is stealth? Oh baby, that hurt me.
Ooh.
So that is S, 8.
8, yeah.
It's okay, that's something at least.
Okay. Your observer tippy taps his way across the room and up onto the table. It tippy taps. It definitely tippy taps. You can tell. You can hear that from the other side of the door.
Well, I tippy tap up to the vital information. What does the vital information say before I get smacked?
There's a lot of different papers on this desk. Some scrolls, a variety of bits and pieces, a ledger maybe. Roll me an investigation check.
Okay, is that... I'm guessing that's through me since I'm the observer. Or is it through my
Yes.
observer?
It's your investigation because you're viewing.
Where do I stop and the observer ends? We'll never know. 24.
Okay, 24. So, the ledger seems to be a expenses ledger for something called the Hopewell Mining Consortium. Additionally, there's a couple of pieces of documentation regarding bribes, payments, a couple of things that are signed by Mr. Hope. There's a few pieces of infernal contracture that are also signed by Mr. Hope, that are sort of tucked into specific pages of the expenses ledger. And there's also a couple of things signed the Baroness, which seem to be addressed to Mr. Hope. The most recent of which is a letter that states it is an invitation from the Baroness to Mr. Hope for arrival to Necroneer to discuss possible business opportunities regarding a variety of mining consortiums across Radavi and neighboring kingdoms.
Okay, well that's a lot of political things.
You also, as your observer is struggling to leaf through a couple of pages of the ledger, it lands on one of the pages that is like there's been a paper clipped in a piece of infernal contracture, and you notice a few of the entries are marked as payment expenses to a or for a something that has been acronymed into DSF.
DSF.
you note that there are 4 entries for this, and 2 have been marked as incomplete. Incomplete and unpaid is what's sort of stated next to the expenses ledger. Okay.
I have a thing I would like to do.
Right.
Well, look at Prod and go, okay, Prod. This is either going to be very stupid, or we might get more information.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to open the door with the 2 people, and they may attack us, so be ready.
It's locked.
It's locked.
It is locked from the inside.
No.
And if I know most locks...
As I specified last session, the locks have a non-linear keyhole that locks from both sides. Like, you can lock it and unlock it from both sides. But there is no
so you have to unlock it in the
internal
morning.
lock, as in like a switch lock. You have to use your key to lock it from the inside.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I just knew about the triple locking mechanism from last session.
Yeah, it's a non-linear locking mechanism that requires you to lock it from the inside with a key. So yeah. I will say, as you sort of turn to Prod to say this, as you sort of break out of your observer, you feel a sudden ringing sensation in your mind, and you snap into your observer just long enough to see a large blackened claw pick up your observer, turn it towards a pair of blindingly golden eyes, and then you feel a crushing sensation as the observer is crushed into dust.
Okay.
And your observer is no more. At least for until such time as you can resummon it.
Okay.
Oh, Prod.
I think it's about time that we talk to the fucking captain about that room. I take the librarian a
Okay,
couple of steps down the hallway, so we're not being listened in on.
Before we go, I just need to do something real quick. Just like get me 10 minutes. 10 minutes, okay?
Okay.
I'm
Only
gonna
10
set up.
minutes.
Yeah. I'm gonna ritual cast alarm on this door.
Okay.
And I want the condition to be anyone who enters or exits it is going to give me a mental ping.
Yep, that's fine. You ritual cast alarm on the door. Okay. Right, so that is your action for the day. Your last action for the day done, librarian. So you're basically following Prod at this point. Prod, what are you doing?
Rod is going to have a conversation with the captain, I think.
Okay.
So what Prod's gonna do is is the captain in his quarters at any point today?
The captain is usually in his quarters poring over charts and the like. So yeah.
Prod's going to, if he can, bring Darren and the librarian with him, if that's acceptable.
Okay, well, in that case, we'll go through Darren's stuff first. Darren, you're on the main deck. Breakfast time.
And Ingvar.
Okay, so we'll go through Darren and Ingvar's stuff first, and then we'll get to this.
Yeah.
So Darren, Ingvar, You two are sort of on the main deck area at breakfast, but more like brunch at this point. Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm gonna grab myself some slices of toast.
Mm-hmm.
Spots the Dragonborn across the way,
Okay.
and now would be a good time for me to talk to them before anything else happens today.
Okay. So you see that Frayne is sort of standing at the buffet. He's got one of those big trays that is cushioned underneath, that is made for like when you're in bed and you want to have like breakfast in bed sort of stuff. So it's got like a beanie cushion underneath that like lays over your legs when you want to have breakfast in bed. And he's sort of loading up a pair of plates and some drinks and stuff. His hands are a little bit shaky, you notice, but he seems a little less nervous than he was at the dinner table the other night. So as he's doing this, he sort of looks up and he turns to you and goes, you Mr. Moran, right?
Yes, and you must be Frayne. I don't think I've had the opportunity just yet.
Yes, I'm Mr. Frayne. I hear that Miss Devram has invited you to join us.
Well, and my understanding is that that's somewhat contingent upon you.
Yes. Miss Devram is very attuned to my preferences.
Roll an insight on this.
Yeah, roll me insight.
I want to see if he's like putting me on a little bit here. Let's say 16.
It's the stutter is kind of making it a little hard to read, but he seems pretty on it.
How exactly did you two meet?
I was a clerk for Miss Devram's firm, and a few years ago we went on a trip to Thistledown together, and well, I was a little bit more. I took a risk and stepped out of my comfort zone, and it was a very nice night.
Nice.
And we have been enjoyable counterparts ever since.
Well, I must say it is a rather unusual arrangement.
Some may see it that way, but personally, I find it comforting.
Well, maybe I can introduce something interesting to the dynamic tonight. Who knows? I suppose I'll see you then.
I think I will enjoy. Yes. And he sort of picks up the tray and starts walking back towards the cabin. Roll me a perception check real quick.
Oh, boy. Yep. 5.
You see nothing.
Yeah, we've established that my perception is garbage. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stretch me arms and me wings a little bit performatively, and then I guess I will go catch up with Prod.
Okay. In the meantime, Ingvar,
Yo.
you have 2 actions today that you haven't taken any.
Cast my one action.
Oh, Casimir was saying.
no.
Yeah. You have 1 action left, unless you would like to save it, until after Prod's thing. What would you like to do?
I can't really think. I mean, the only thing I can think of is maybe going feeding Casimir the bacon, but it might be just better just to save the action for now.
I will say feeding Casimir the bacon will not take an action. It'll just be a thing you do.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, if you want to save it till after Prod's thing, then yeah.
Yeah.
We can do
Yeah,
that.
sounds like a plan.
Oh, I'm taking Mrs. Groan with you, apparently. Right. Okay, so, Prod, you gather up the rest of the party, and you head to the captain's cabin.
Right. Is he in? Have a little polite knock.
Yeah, you knock on... The door is open. The captain is sort of poring over a chart on his desk. The captain's cabin has has a glass overlook over the ballroom and out towards the pilot's area as well. And you knock on the door, and he sort of looks up and goes, Mr. Maximus, come in. What can I do for you?
Actually, Captain, I think it's kind of the opposite. What can we do for you? And
really?
Prod's
I don't
gonna
understand.
come and invite himself and sit in the front and make sure everyone's gathered in. And he's got Darren next to him in case. And he's briefed Darren of if I can't find the words, you're gonna need to help persuade. And he's going to launch into this whole thing about the grand deeds that this party. We had a party name. What's the fucking party name?
Thesians.
The Thesians have
as
done.
in the ship of Theseus.
Yes. The grand explorations and deeds of the Thesians. And the fact that we have saved multiple cities and solved multiple crimes, and that we are looking out for other people. And the fact that we, particularly I, and my friends here, notice when something is amiss. For example, when a man doesn't come out of his cabin for almost 2 days.
As you say this, the captain starts to sort of... He starts pulling at his collar a little bit and, looking a little uncomfortable. It's and then eventually he sort of puts his hands down on the desk and goes, "Look, I know it doesn't look good, but I assure you I can explain."
I'm
tell,
all
Captain.
ears.
Mr. Hope just took very ill at the start of the voyage, and he's not been feeling great, so we've left him to deal with...
That's the sound of "you're lying to me." I prefer my captain not to lie to me.
Captain, we've had a dragon sat outside of the rooms this entire voyage, and we can speak to him.
I don't quite understand.
We are aware that things are not all well with Mr. Hope.
Well, yes, he's quite ill, I did say.
We are also aware that the cabin opposite him is not indeed empty. It's not storage. We know who's in it.
The captain, the cabin is empty. I can assure you of that.
Why don't you show us?
Can you please show us? Because we have an idea that might not be true.
Very well. Very well. As
And also, why don't we go give Mr. Hope a visit as well?
Just see if we can cheer him up a smidge.
Seeing as
So-
I'm a qualified healer.
very, very quickly, I need to very quickly check something.
The terrace is greater than 4 or 5 foot tiles.
What? No, what? Oh, no, no, not quite what I meant. I just need to. What the fuck? Interesting.
Question mark?
Here we go. Okay. As you're sort of looking over the captain, Arcus, you realize that it's very faint, but powerful spells leave traces. And you realize that sort of wisps of enchantment magic are sort of... It's hardly noticeable, but you can see it. But wisps of enchantment magic are sort of wisping off the captain's head. As he picks up his keys and says, I can assure you, the empty cabin is completely empty. Please
1 second.
follow me.
One second. I'm very sorry. Are you aware you're under the influence currently?
I can assure you I haven't drunk anything since the voyage started.
I'm not
says
talking about
he-
alcohol. There's traces of enchantment magic that have been used on you.
Presuming I can see that as well.
Traces of what?
Enchantment magic. Someone has messed with either your memories or your waking mind.
But how is... How? That's not...
There are several magic users on this ship. I'm
But I
sure
remember
it's not out of the realm of possibility that one of them could have used it on you.
Do we think anyone here might have the power to remove enchantment magic?
I can do it now.
Well, I'm not opposed, but are you sure this is really necessary?
Yes.
If
You
something
clear-headed,
is making your perception of the situation cloudy, it would probably be in all of our best interest to solve that now.
Very well, I suppose. Is...
For Mr. Hope's sake, let's make sure your mind is clear.
You're making this sound very
Fine.
sinister, Prod. This is
Fine.
literally just a dispel
I-
magic spell. I can do all the movements very slowly. If any of your members of staff are knowledgeable in magic, they'll know what I'm doing, pretty much. It's not a complex.
If I could have my quartermaster come in. Joran! And you hear the massive thump, thump, thump of the Beastman quartermaster as he, thumps his way into the cabin and looks in and goes, Captain, can I help you? Who are these people? And the captain goes, they're passengers. They said there's something that apparently I've been enchanted, and you know a decent amount about magic and stuff. Would you supervise what was it you called it?
A dispel of the magic.
Dispelment, if you don't mind. And Joran sort of looks over you and goes, Fine. Please
Sorry to wait.
go ahead.
Just to be safe and to make sure everyone trusts each other in this process, I'm going to cast a 5th level Dispel Magic on this.
Okay, remind me how Dispel Magic works.
Okay. Choose one creature, object in magical range. Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends for each spell of 4th or higher. The target makes an ability check, but because I'm casting this at higher levels, it automatically ends at 5th level. Otherwise, they have to make a check.
Yeah, no, I mean, this gets dispelled almost immediately. The Modify Memory spell gets cleared off of the captain, off of Captain Crail, as he sort of, for a moment, he goes woozy, he falls back, puts his hand on the desk, looks around and goes, where?
Okay, looks like that was a doozy. Alright,
Where am I? What am I wearing?
What?
Oh God! What is going on?
Okay,
Who-
what's your name? Let's start with that.
Sir,
Calm down!
Breathe. Gentle breaths. Deep. What's the last thing you remember?
I was in my bookshop. I was in my bookshop. And now I'm on a... Oh, I feel like I'm gonna be sick. Oh, where am I?
You're on an airship bound for
Oh, no! Oh, no, what? Who are you?
We're passengers. You're the captain.
I'm the captain? What?
I'm sorry to say you
Why
are.
would I be the... Who would put me in the position of captaincy?
That is an excellent question. Quartermaster, would you have any idea?
Joran sort of looks over at the captain and goes... I don't... He's been our captain for 10 years.
Oh no.
And the captain goes, 10 years? 10? Where's my wife? Where's my son? Where? 10 years?
Do you remember anything from while you were under the spell?
Sort of, do you remember what year it was? Because it might be that someone's just sort of popped you in place and has stolen your look or something, okay? So maybe...
Last thing I remember was... Well... I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself. My name is Monteri. Monteri Groan.
Nice to meet
Oh.
you, Terry.
I have good news and bad news for you then.
Oh?
The good news is you definitely still have a family. The bad news is they're also on this ship.
Oh. My wife! I have to find my wife!
Wait 1 second there. Your wife might have been the one that did this, is what I think Darren was implying.
My wife doesn't have magic. She's never cast a spell in her life.
She, strictly speaking, doesn't need to. She just needs the money to hire someone who could.
Yep.
But why would she?
That makes no sense, guys. Let's try and let's go down to the Groans quarters and have a nice long chat about this, okay? Does that sound sensible to everybody?
I think
Yes.
with the
Captain.
circumstance, that's probably the best we can do.
Yes.
Or maybe we could bring them up
For the
here.
moment, Captain, attempt to seem composed.
You watch as like the captain sort of puts his hand up to his like face, and then starts to pat his face as he's like, "I've never had a beard."
Well, it's quite fetching.
And then he starts like pulling it off. as like it actually just comes off, as if, like someone has glued a beard onto this man.
Oh.
And Doran looks over and goes, "But where is the captain then?"
That's a good bloody question. Right. I think we need to do... So,
Where's Mr. Groan?
let's
The other
get the
Mr. Groan.
let's get the groans up here now and sort this mess out. I will go
Quartermaster,
fetch them.
Quartermaster, could you give the order to bring the groans up here?
Yes, of course. And he
That
sort
was
of
less of a fuss.
pushes past you out into the area. A few minutes later, Miss Claire Groan walks into the captain's cabin. Apparently, Mr. Groan can't be found, and she sort of walks in and goes, "Hello, can I help you, darlings? I heard it was somewhat urgent." And you notice immediately now that you're looking for the traces of it, Arcus, you notice there's this same field of enchantment magic around her head as well.
Oh no.
Wait, whose head, sorry?
Around Mrs. Groan's head.
Oh, but okay. Second one of the day. Let's get up, folks.
How many
Hey,
spells
I'm
at that
very
level?
sorry, ma'am. You're about to have an existential crisis. I cast Dispel Magic.
What? And then she immediately stumbles back into a wall, gasping, and she goes, "Terry, Terry, why are you wearing a fake beard? What's
Okay,
What's
okay,
going
listen,
on?
I know, I understand this is a very strange situation, but I need you to stay with me for a couple seconds. You just came out of this spell. What is the very last thing you remember in your conscious memory? Who did this to you?
There was I was on a balcony, and I turned around and there was a voice next to me. And then, there was no one around. And
What
then
the voice
I
sound
was,
like?
A little high pitched. Maybe a child.
Oh my fucking god.
Of course. Okay, so let's say right now this captain's quarters is the safe zone. We're gonna try and get everyone that we can into this captain quarters, one by one, check that they have an alright memory, and we're gonna leave that fucking Bard family for last. Sound agreeable to everybody?
There's just one problem with that. I'll be able to tell whose memories have been modified, but that was my last one for the day.
Yes. Alright. Well,
Love that we just burned both of your 5th level spells for the entire day.
Oh, that's fine, don't worry, I've got my 2 first levels. Those are very useful.
Yeah.
Example, Grease.
so you,
Do you
Mrs.
cast
Groan,
Grease?
and
Just the doors
Alright,
are burst
now,
up and
maybe
just wait
later
for
if I
things.
feel like it. Like if there's some wolves or something.
high-pitched
Harry
voice.
immediately starts divesting himself of the captain's attires, and it's like tearing off clumps of fake beard and stuff. As
Right.
his
It
wife
You
is
two
walking
are
out
gonna
to help.
stay up
Easiest-
here.
The simplest approach here that would cause the least amount of potential alarm might be to call everyone into the dining hall.
Yes.
And then we can look over and see who has this aura of being enchanted.
Yes. Quartermaster. We can't really trust anyone right now.
It's a bit of a stretch
However,
to trust
I
you.
have chosen that I need to trust somebody, and seeing as you are magic proficient, and to be honest, terrifying. Can I safely assume you're not a murderer? Please.
So,
They don't need to know that. They don't need to know that.
oh,
Not right now.
Right. Sorry.
It's okay. I think you're
Insight
wonderful,
check
by
on
the way.
pacifism.
Yeah, roll me an insight check.
just to be on the safe side.
I genuinely think this guy's a pacifist.
That is 16.
As far as you can tell, he's a pacifist.
Okay.
He's like 8 feet tall and has giant claws and like a beast's face, but he's a pacifist.
Do I see?
Wait, I have a hunch. Can I roll Gaydar?
Sure. Roll
Can I see any
me
magical aura? on him at all?
insight for Gaydar.
Jesus
Perfect.
Christ.
I'm not gonna act on it, I just wanna know. It's very good for his character. Aw. 14.
I mean,
I get the +10 for being gay.
you know you'd be down for it, but you're not sure he would.
Ah,
Do I
Story
see
of my
any
life.
aura around his head at all? Or?
yeah, that. I want to check that as well, actually.
No,
Does he have
Joran
any?
doesn't seem to have any sort of enchantment aura around
Okay,
his head.
so for the time being, he's the first and only crew member we know who hasn't been modified in some fashion.
Okay. Also, as you are now acting captain, quartermaster, because turns out actual captain is a guy called
No
Terry.
license.
I had an Uncle Terry once.
May we have some of the keys to the spare room and Mr. Hope's cabin so we can make investigations?
Joran sort of looks you all, like he squints at you all for a moment. And then he sighs and goes, well, I don't think we have much other option. And he grabs a key off the, like, off one of the rings, and he hands it, he holds it up, he looks at you all, and then he hands it to you, Ingvar, and he goes, this is a master key for the ship. Don't lose it. I would like it back. And the captain, if possible.
We'll see what we can do.
In the meantime, could you call everyone into the dining hall? Say it's because the captain's fallen ill.
Yes, of course. And Joran sort of goes down to the dining hall. Right. In the meantime, Ingvar, you have one action left for the day before dinner commences. What would you like to do? You have now gained full access to the entire ship.
Good question. He's not tempted to go and look at the... Actually, he should go and question the engineer guys. See if they ain't seen anything.
Yeah, that's something you can definitely do. Do the rest of you tag along?
I'm gonna watch people file in.
I
so-
am
File into
going
dining
to
hall.
stand guard over the Groans who are not going to attend dinner.
Okay.
Because one is obviously the captain minus a fake beard.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ingvar, you head down to the engineering deck. And you... the first person you come across is Mr. Keller Naik, who is the, as far as you're aware, the head engineer of the Dawn's Light. Who he sort of turns to you and goes, Mr. Schwan, is it? What can I do for you?
Wow, my brain just blue screened there. Would it be wise to inform him of what's happened upstairs?
No.
No. Christ, what the hell do I ask him then? Okay.
I mean, you can ask him anything. He might
ask him
infer
about the flight
things
path.
from that. But
Hopewell. Ask him about Hopewell.
Good question. Good point. Do you happen to know anything about Hopewell by any chance?
old mining settlement, isn't it?
Yep.
We took a trip out there a few years back. Admittedly, don't think there's all that much left of it now. It's mostly just a small village and a lot of depleted black iron mines. Mr. Hope ran the place or something? I'm not entirely sure. Why'd you ask?
Just wondering. We've just been hearing some rumors of that are floating around. Did you see anything unusual the last time you were there? Figures?
In
Anything
Hope
like
now?
that?
Oh, well, I'm not really sure what you'd describe as unusual.
Shady, perhaps. People not
Shady.
looking quite right.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that was a mite peculiar. There was some strange goings on. It was like the entire town just couldn't wait to leave.
Huh.
But no one wanted to. Like, everyone was itching to get out of there, but no one could. But that was years ago now, and I really don't know. What all happened. Maybe it was haunted. I don't know.
You just kind of. I know it sounds like a peculiar question. It's just I used to work in Hopewell, and I was just wondering if anything had been. But it's been, like you said, it's been years.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. There's not much more I can think of. It's been a long time.
No, that's quite all right. I do appreciate you taking the time to answer.
Yeah. I mean, admittedly, Mrs. Fun, you shouldn't be down here in the engineering section of the ship. It's might dangerous for you passengers, but well, I'm sure I can make an exception for a mechanical-minded person.
I do appreciate that. If I think of anything else, I'll come and knock. But thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Do stop by anytime you like.
Thank you very much. I haven't got time at the moment, but I am curious about. These are some beautiful craft work down here.
Oh, well, bless my heart. All done by hand. Years of work. Captain's very proud of it.
I'm sure he is. And he just turns and wanders off to wherever the rest of them are. I know they'll be back in the
They'll be in the ballroom, yeah.
Yep, that one.
Okay. You all gather up in the ballroom, except for Prod. Arcus, are you going with, or...?
I'm gonna go to the ballroom with Prod if that's where they're going.
Prod is staying in the captain's cabin with the Groans.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with Prod then.
Okay. I mean, you get a view of the ballroom as, like you can see down from the captain's cabin. There's a window into the ballroom. So you look down there, and the rest of you are sort of in the captain's cabin. A variety of different passengers files in. Devrim and Frayne, the Senthals and March and Corrales, yeah. Not all the crew are there, but there are a few. From this distance, librarian, give me a sort of general perception check. You're not up close, so you can't do an investigation check, but just a general perception.
I'll add to my dice pile. 4!
Oh no.
Oh. As far as you
I'm
can
in a
tell,
room.
You're in a room. Darren, since you can see magic, even though you can't distinguish what type it is, I'll allow you a perception check on this as well.
Okay. Does it have to be perception or can it be investigation?
It has to be perception on this one, I'm afraid. You're not like sniffing someone's hair, so it's not investigation.
Oh, we've established my eyes are worth diddly heck. Okay.
It rolled
Yep.
under a table and it rolled a 7.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
I
dice.
mean-
Librarian gone.
Far as you can tell, I mean, other than Mrs. Senthal looking quite tired and Corrales and March just bickering with each other, not much different from the passengers that you first saw when boarding the ship.
Alright, well, while the quartermaster is explaining that the captain's fallen ill and whatnot, I'm going to move through the crowd and investigate, see if I see any magical auras.
Okay, roll me an investigation check. Are you trying to do this stealthily or overtly?
Relatively discreetly.
Then roll me a stealth check as well.
Yeah. Okay, that is a... For investigation, that is 21.
Mm-hmm.
For stealth, that is an 8.
You get a few weird looks from, various people. But I will say, you notice that Mrs. Senthal looks haggard. Even more so than when the journey started, she looks drained. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder.
Is anybody else giving off auras or looking weird?
I mean, there's the usual, slight aura of enchantment magic coming from Mr. Senthal's loot, but you've seen that the whole voyage. And, that's normal at this point, as far as you can tell. It is a 21, but it's very subtle. Do I give you this piece of information?
Using my new eye muscles so hard right now.
Oh damn, you're looking with those lizard eyes. Activating the second
when I-
magnifying
it's like-
eyelid.
If the librarian had rolled a 21 for this, I think that they would have seen it, but I don't think you will. Not you. You don't know what you're looking for here, essentially. The librarian would know this, but you don't.
This is racism.
Do you notice something though? Just in general?
As I said, Mrs. Senthal looks fucking exhausted.
I'm just gonna, offer her a chair.
I mean-
She sort of turns to you and goes, "Oh." She sort of pats your cheek and goes, "Oh, thank you, darling." And she sits.
Something
There.
that
Hey,
I
is
might.
there anything clearer while I'm this close?
Hmm?
Can I see anything a little clearer while I'm this close?
I mean, she's got bags under her eyes. Some of her, the bones in her fingers look a little more visible than maybe they should.
But no worries.
She looks like she hasn't eaten properly in a few days.
Right.
Okay. Rod?
I was just saying that, like, a mother might look like that if her child suddenly went missing and got replaced with something else, but she couldn't ever remember that that's what happened. You know what I mean?
We're doing
Can
the
I- how do you
changeling?
s-
Is that what you're telling me?
Maybe. How do you spell Senthal, Lucian?
Centhal.
A-L, got it.
Why do you
Let's-
ask?
No reason.
Uh-oh.
My lovelies, just as a suggestion, we should keep watch tonight. Like, have a rota, kind of keep watch.
I'm definitely going to be awake tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, one of you is gonna get pegged, so...
Oh, well, okay, well, then Darren's not part of it, so...
I mean, I'm sure the three of
I will
us and the
definitely
dragon
be
can
paying
help.
close attention to at least 2 passengers.
Very close attention.
Okay. So the quartermaster goes, I'm afraid the captain has taken ill due to unforeseen circumstances, but don't worry, we are 100% sure that this is not something that anyone within this circle needs to worry about. It's non-contagious, you should be fine. Just as a precaution, we will be laying out dinner, but if you could all take your meals back to your cabins for the evening, that would be appreciated. And he sort of gestures out, and varying people bring in varying meals, and you all end up back in your cabins. At about like early evening time, there comes a knock at your cabin door, Darren. And you open it to see Miss Devram, who stands before you and says, Crane tells me that he's very much looking forward to our evening. Would you like to join us?
I would very much like to get better acquainted with another Dragonborn. It is rare that I encounter them on the road.
Wonderful. And she sort of turns and says, oh, before I forget, do you have a safe word?
God, what's a good word? What's a good word in this situation?
What's a word that could be safe, but also would alert the group through the ring if you needed backup?
It's a little unusual, but it usually tends to raise eyebrows when it gets said, so I think I'll say that my safe word for this evening is Carnifex.
Very well.
Ooh.
Strange, but not on. Well, if it can't be said in normal conversation, it's usually good. All right. Well, if you don't mind, pet, please do come along. And she leads you back to the cabin, where you, Crane, and Miss Devram have a wonderful evening. Now, obviously, I'm not going to describe the whole evening that you guys have. However, I will give you some pertinent details. For a start, Roland Frayne is trans. He is a trans man, and has apparently been utilizing horn growth cream to extend the length of his horns. He has had top surgery, but he has not had bottom surgery. Additionally, the room that Miss Frayne is sitting in is very much well appointed. It has a variety of... It has a wardrobe with all her stuff in it. It has a small camping bed for Roland, though, as it turns out, that is mostly for show, as it seems that Roland spends most of his evenings lying at the foot of Miss Devrim's bed. Like, very much pet style, as it were.
I'm gonna be taking every opportunity I can to investigate this room and everything and everyone in it, just for potential signs of association to the murder. And
Honestly, as far as you can tell, Roland is the last person who would ever murder someone, and you note that their claws are blunted. So, very unlikely.
yeah,
You do enjoy a very fun evening.
I
You
am going to try and contort this scenario somewhat,
Oh.
which is that I'm going to try to persuade and draw on my knowledge of the epic tales of dragons and whatnot from my youth,
Mhm.
and try to play, how should I put this? This is discredited science, but alpha.
Okay, roll. This is gonna be a very high DC, but roll me a persuasion check.
I'm gonna try and be the big man in charge. That is a 23.
That is a 23. Roland is certainly willing to be submissive. You end up as the meat in the sandwich, with Roland below you and Mrs. Devrim behind you. It is, in all aspects, a very enjoyable evening.
This is outside of my
However, you're
comfort
not
zone
sure
in
it's
many
something
ways.
you'd want to try on a regular basis.
I mean, it's only the second time that I've been inside someone else, and it's definitely the first time anyone's been inside of me.
Huh? Yeah, that's, and like in the morning, it is an enjoyable evening. There is some very enjoyable aftercare, like getting taken care of like that after sex you've never had that before, and it's fucking wonderful in that way. The fucking was also wonderful. But you wake the next morning refreshed and not having had to take a wisdom saving throw.
That's something.
Oh
Right.
no.
The
The
rest,
rest
of us.
of you are
I
taking
said-
turns on what? Are you not?
Yes,
Yes.
we are.
Okay. So, you take turns on watch. And roll me a wisdom saving throw, each of you.
That's a 10.
Okay.
Ow.
That's an 8. I'm rolling dog shit today.
Yeah, nobody's rolling very high,
Okay.
are they?
Can I use my luck again?
How many
Worked so well
times
the
can
first
you
time.
use luck per day?
I can use luck 3 times per day.
Okay, yeah, you can.
Come on, baby. Roll better. Roll better. What the
I said
fuck?
no.
Alright.
Okay. And Arcus?
Yeah.
What did you roll for your wisdom saving throw?
Secret.
God
You
damn
tell
it.
me
roll
or I
it.
drop a Tarrasque on you.
I forgot to roll. I'm sorry.
Then roll.
90!
Okay. Yeah. I will say, Arcus, you don't feel any influences, but also when you're keeping watch, you notice a sliver of enchantment magic slip under the door and start dancing around Prod's head. The point where it starts taking on the shape of Prod's dreams, visualized. And then Prod gets up and starts to walk towards the door.
I immediately slap Prod full pelt across the face.
Prod, you awaken. You are awake. You feel a stinging across your cheek. The enchantment magic dissipates.
Ow. Fucker. Right. You see the enchantment magic? Right. We're gonna find out where this fucking thing is. Can you see where it's coming from?
The trail to Prod has vanished.
Yeah,
But as you open the door, you look across the hallway, you notice another trail going into Ingvar's room. As Ingvar opens the door to their cabin, still asleep.
Where's it coming from?
It is coming... hold on, let me draw you guys a line. So Ingvar is here. Magic is coming from here.
The blood. Yeah, of course it is. Of course it's that fucking child. Of course it's the demon child.
Ingvar just snores really loudly.
Alright. I go over and I bop Ingvar on the head.
Okay. Ingvar, you awaken to find Prod standing in front of you, having hit you over the head.
What the fuck, man? He just
You want
kind
to
of
come and
mumbles.
figure out if they're trying to... where this fucking enchantment stuff's coming from?
Uh-huh.
Alright. We're gonna be well quiet. Can I request that we go and open the door and see what's going on? We have a master key. I know that's
Sure.
technically not one of the actions today, but...
I will say that this will use up one of your actions from tomorrow, and you don't get a long rest.
Alright.
Those are the consequences of going around at night, essentially. Yeah, I mean, you open the door to the central cabin. Are you doing it stealthily?
Yes.
Okay. Roll me a stealth check.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. I've got stealth. I've got a +1. I've rolled like dog shit today.
Hi, dice. You're still rolling like dog shit.
Has anyone rolled above a 10 today?
I don't
Some
think
of
so.
them.
Like,
That was an update.
Minus modifier, just on the dice.
Look.
If you have 1 point of luck left.
I do. I'm gonna use it. I've got no luck left, guys, so if I fuck this up, can anyone give me advantage on this? In any way?
I can give you guidance, I guess.
You can give me
Do you
guidance.
have pass without a trace, Lydia?
Yeah, oh god.
Yeah, I
Should
mean,
have.
pass without a trace does a +10 to stealth.
So why isn't... Lydia, you have the key!
It is true, Lydia has the key as well.
Can Lydia
Have I
have
got-
opened the door? And I not have... Because Prod wouldn't open the door, he
I
wasn't
will
given
allow
the
you
key.
to retcon that if you want.
Yes,
Yeah,
please!
I can do a thing. I'm above. I mean, and I'm rolling for stealth, aren't I?
You're rolling for stealth. If you want to turn on pass without a trace, you can, but it is not required.
Oh god almighty, where the fuck is pass without it? Oh, there it is. Oh, that's called Navarro's wrong thing. Masking you and you? Yep, we'll turn that on because it masks both Ingvar and the companions.
Yep. So, if you would, all three of you, roll me Roll me stealth checks with pass without a trace, which means you get a plus 10, I believe.
Yahoo! How do I do this? There we go.
That's a
Oh.
12.
Thank God.
That's a 12, but that's still a natural 1. Bob.
Okay, I'm gonna use my luck on that one.
You can use your luck on that one. I will
I'm
allow
gonna
it.
use my luck on that one, please.
I'm guessing I need to roll as well.
Yes.
Brother, please.
That's 27 plus 5, that's 32. But focus at Prod!
Prod rolling double natural 1s with basically advantage. Hey Prod, out of curiosity, do you still have any inspiration left?
I do have one inspiration. Please, may I use my one inspiration?
You may use your 1 inspiration.
Oh boy.
Fuck's sake! My dude! My dude! If this is
I'm
all...
gonna giggle if it ends up as another.
What the
So-
hell?
So that's a
You roll a
13.
13. At least it's not a natural 1, because that would have been an automatic failure. Okay.
Oh my god.
So, you open the door to the Senthal cabin. Look in. Mr. Senthal and Mrs. Senthal are asleep on bed. And Melanie Senthal is also asleep in her bed. They all seem to be dreaming peacefully, though you do notice, Librarian, that the girl is muttering under her breath. She's like singing in her sleep. And that magic is sort of flowing out and into various rooms around. Like it's flowing into the Corrales cabin, and it was flowing into yours and Ingvar's. You notice that Mr. March steps out, fully asleep, out of the cabin and starts walking off up the corridor.
Oh my, is this kid sleep casting?
I mean, that was more or less my idea.
I mean, you don't know, Darren. You're getting pegged.
Yeah, that's happening right now, isn't it?
You chose this, not me.
Yep.
You chose this.
Not me.
I remind you, Darren has had an entirely new endocrine system for like the past few days.
I'm aware.
He is not necessarily thinking entirely straight.
Okay. Yeah, the child literally seems to be sleep casting in some way or another.
Okay, so what do I do about the child?
Well, let's rule out the child as... No, let's not rule out the child as nefarious.
Look at
I mean, I don't think she's actually doing it on
standing
purpose.
menacingly.
What shall we do?
Should one of us follow the father, maybe?
No, they're all asleep right now. I don't want to make them...
I mean, I'm not gonna wake him up, I just want to know where he's going.
One sec, I seem to
So-
reference this book, Philosophy by Can. Is it ethical to slap a child awake?
No.
Yes.
No, it's fine, it's fine. Question, to Librarian, is the mum getting any of this enchantment magic? Is any of the magic going from the child to the mum?
Can I see the flow of magic?
Yeah, you definitely can. You can definitely see that. You see this. It was very faint, so Darren didn't see it, but you do. There is a very small amount of energy transference from Mrs. Senthal to her daughter.
Okay,
Energy transference.
Mhm.
This is still enchantment
No.
magic, right?
No specific magic class. It's just like pure energy by the looks of it.
Okay.
It's wispy and inconsistent, but it's like it's slowly pulling out of her and into the daughter.
That would
Okay,
explain
Prod,
the
this is a
tag.
little bit out of my specification. I'm gonna need you to detect good and evil on this shit.
I think I already detected good and evil overall on the ship, but I will specifically detect good and evil going on here.
Okay, remind me what detect good and evil does again?
1 second.
It's undead, infernal, or celestial, right?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, there's no celestial or infernal magic here,
Yeah.
but you start to realize that there is some undead magic going on here, or undead presence.
The daughter? Or the mother?
Parts of both. It looks like Tell you what, roll me an investigation check. No, roll me an arcana check, librarian.
Woohoo!
I thought you were going to ask me, and I was like, no, don't.
Gonna add to the pile. 28.
My word.
Okay.
That might do it.
From what you can tell, and this is very out of your depth, but from what you can tell, Mrs. Senthal is slowly absorbing her child's death.
I'm saying
She
what?
is removing the death of her daughter and putting it on herself. It seems like it's the transference of a curse.
Well, slows resurrection spell.
This-
Jesus Christ. For my brute one, anyway.
This
I-
seems to be some form of preemptive resurrection, but using another person instead of something like a diamond.
Have I ever seen something like this before?
Yes. And it's very foggy at the moment. But this type of life force transference spell was something that you saw just before the library took complete control of you. This was something that Edric Vox was doing. Except in this case, it's happening in reverse. She's giving her life force to her daughter, whereas he was trying to take your daughter's life force from her.
Okay. There seems to be some kind of like life force transference thing going on. I need both of these people alive, no matter what. We cannot kill either one of these. I don't care if one of them's evil. I don't care if they murdered that guy in the room there. This is very important to me.
Aye, aye. Should we wake them up?
I mean, it looks like they're probably under some kind of sleeping spell like the others, so let's presume nefarious until they kind of give us their innocence, I guess, but yeah, I think we should wake them up.
Okay.
Okay. I very gently close the door and then lightly knock at it because I don't want them to know that we've been peeking in.
Okay. About like a minute and a half later, Mr. Senthal opens the door, bleary-eyed, looks out, goes, can I help you? Is there something... What time? Why? Who? What do you want?
We need to talk to you, and we need to talk to you right now. I'm very sorry. We need your daughter awake. She is sleep casting.
Sleep... Oh, not again. Hold on a minute.
Has this
He
happened
turns-
before?
He sort of looks back at you and goes, yes, it used to happen a few times when... It's happened enough times for it to be an ongoing issue. And he sort of turns back and goes over to his daughter and shakes Melanie awake, and she sort of looks up and goes, Dad? What's good? Oh, no. I was doing it again, wasn't I? And he sort of nods his head and goes, yeah, I know. Let me get you tablets, alright? And she's like, no, but they taste bad. And he's like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. And he sort of walks over to a cabinet, grabs this small bottle of, small green glass bottle with a couple of pills in it, grabs a glass of water, brings them over to her, and is like, here you go, one of these, just, you know what the doctor said. And she's like, she grimaces as she, drinks one down and is like, blah. Like, okay, you can go back to bed, sweetie. And he sort of turns back to you and walks out and goes, I'm really sorry. It's been happening a lot. She's a powerful little caster, but control issues, We're thinking about rolling her into the Iral Academy in a few years, seeing if we can fix that.
Your daughter is casting mass enchantment magic. That's a little beyond out of control. That's a high level caster.
Yeah, I know. And it's caused more than a few problems in the past.
Who's this doctor you talked about briefly? Sorry, the one that prescribed medication for her?
Oh, hold on, it's early morning, let me think.
And do you mind if I took a look at that bottle? I promise I won't take any for myself or anything.
Dr. Carlo McGovern? Here you go.
McGovern, you're sure of that?
Yes, I mean, he's been working in our little town for a couple of, maybe a decade now. Here you go, and he sort of pulls the bottle out and hands it over to you. It's a plain green glass bottle, pill bottle. It's got a small label on it in semi-spidery, doctory handwriting. Yeah. Nothing major about it.
Can I inspect medication?
Yeah. If you
No,
want
no magical stuff emanating from it. Nothing that would be specifically alchemically interesting.
There's definitely some form of enchantment in the pills themselves, but it seems to be something that's designed to it's designed to subdue magical effects, essentially.
Thank you for that. You can have these back. I just wanted to verify something.
You also notice, as you're looking at, you sort of look over Mr. Senthal's shoulder, and you see that energy transference connection. As soon as Melanie takes a pill, disappears.
It's vitally important that your daughter keeps taking these pills. The level of caster that she's at. I also think you should absolutely enroll her. as soon as you can.
But she's a little young, don't you think?
Not.
Take
Not
this.
Like half a dozen people killed in this trip.
I produced from the index a flyer for the summer reading program.
For the library summer reading program.
For the library.
Okay.
Now,
Takes it
some of
and looks
the
a
library
bit-
is a little bit derelict still, but I've been talking with them, and it seems like they might be open to opening the summer reading program again. Now, before she goes to the school, it might be a safe place for her to kind of control her abilities in.
Right, the Praxis Grand Library? Are you...
Here's a
You're
membership
kidding,
form.
right?
It'll make a lot more sense when you filled that out.
But Praxis doesn't exist. It's a myth. Fantasy. You're serious?
I'm dead
Oh.
serious.
Okay.
And I'm trusting
Yeah.
you to not tell anyone else about this.
Sure. And he sort of folds it up and puts it on the shelf next to him. It's like he goes to put it in his jacket, and then he realizes he's in his pajamas, and is like, I'll just put this over here. He's like, okay, yeah, I mean, we'll do our best, but I mean, she's so young, you know, it's...
Just think of it this way. She's only young now, but she'll only get stronger as she gets older.
Well,
Maybe.
yeah, you're not wrong about that, actually, yeah. Okay. Alright, we'll do our best. Is that all? I'd like to get some sleep. if you don't mind.
There's one more thing. We'd like to speak with your wife if possible.
Oh, I don't know if that's she hasn't been... Fine, okay. And he sort of goes over and shakes Mrs. Senthal as she sort of gets up, a little bleary-eyed, looks over, and he says, honey, these people would like a word. I know it's... I'm sorry. And she's like, no, it's fine. I'll
You're
and
really
he
sorry,
sort of
man.
helps her out of the bed, and you all realize, like, when she's out and about, she's like relatively well dressed and stuff. But when she's in a nightgown, and you realize her arms are thin, and like her collarbones and everything, it's sunken. Her eyes, just like, she looks almost skeletal at this point. And she sort of steps over with her husband next to her, and she's like, can I help you?
It might be best if we go to one of our rooms and have this discussion.
Do we have to? It's hard enough for me to... I'm very tired.
We'll
Okay.
have a conversation in this room. It's
We'll
fine.
have it here. We wanted to ask you about your daughter, and specifically
Melanie,
why you...
has she been
Yes.
sleep casting again?
Yes, but don't worry about that. That's
Oh,
fine for now.
Darling, did you give her? And he's like, yes, I gave her a pill. He's back asleep again.
She'll be fine. We're more worried about you.
I
well-
know I know I don't travel great, but
How long have you been feeling tired?
few days, maybe a week and a half.
And the weight loss, everything else?
how did you... Yeah, around about a week.
When did your daughter stop taking that medication?
Around... You think that she cast something on me? Or that the medication is... it... So, what's going on? Darling, what's going on? And he's like, I don't know. They said they wanted to talk.
Your daughter is a very powerful spellcaster, but it also appears that there's something else underneath that as well. When we entered the room to check up on you, after we realized that there was a mass enchantment going on, we saw that the life energy was flowing from you into her. And I've seen that spell before, and it is very old and very dangerous. And if it continues without her taking her medication, she will eventually take everything from you.
Mrs. Senthal sort of looks aghast, like she can't quite believe that this is happening. As she looks at you and goes, but what? How would? Why? What? Melanie would never do something like that.
She would never do something like that. I don't mean that she's actively doing this. I think there's something much more sinister happening under it, like maybe a curse. How was Melanie born? Was there any complications? Did you see a doctor of any kind that helped out?
Well, I mean, there were no complications. A few years ago, she had a bad illness. Dr. McGovern helped with that.
How
and
bad?
He said to keep taking the medication for her sleep casting, yeah, I mean, other than that, not really anything major. I mean, from what we know, she's a relatively powerful little sorceress, as it were. But, well, nothing major other than her illness.
What was the illness like?
Yeah, when did she start getting ill?
A couple of years ago, it was fatigue at first, and then dry skin and small blisters. And we went to Dr. McGovern for help, and he gave her some poultices and treatments, and she got better. Took a little while. She wasn't feeling great for the first few weeks. She got better. She is better. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, it's very late. Yes.
Yeah, if you don't mind. It's
Is it okay if we have a
we'll get
conversation
the-
about this tomorrow?
Yeah.
I don't know that I'll be up for it, but I'm
sorry
sure
for this.
that if you need any details, my husband can help you out.
Yes.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'd like to get back to bed now.
Apologies.
This has been a lot to take in.
Of course. Before we go, Prod, do you think you could give them a little bit of relief with the whole vitality thing?
Yes. I'm just gonna do some lay on hands.
Okay.
Just
how much lay on hands are you gonna do?
Just 20, if that can
20?
do anything.
I mean, bearing in mind that like your average civilian NPC has like a health pool of 5-ish. Yeah, 20 will do a decent amount.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind that you don't know how much health these NPCs have. But yeah, you give her 20 HP, and she looks a little healthier. Her cheeks have a bit of a better flush to them. She definitely still looks quite thin, not so emaciated as she was before, though.
Hopefully this shall help you sleep a little better.
Yeah. She sort of nods at you and thank you. Good night. She goes back to her bed. And so does Mr. Senthal, going, I appreciate you coming by. Thank you. And he closes the door behind him.
Alright. Let's go back to bed, and then hopefully none of us are gonna have weird-ass dreams again.
Oh, and hopefully no slapping if we use the rope this time. Has my alarm gone off at any point?
How long does that alarm last?
8 hours.
8 hours. Cast it at around midday, so it would end around 8 p.m. No.
Before I go to bed, can I go back and recast alarm while we sleep?
I will say that that will mean that you don't get a long rest.
That's actually okay for me. Because I only recharge my highest spell slots with a short rest.
Okay. In which case, yeah, you go to the door, and it is open.
Oh, fuck.
You look in, and the two figures still standing there, unmoving. You do see
What does the coffin look like?
Hmm?
What does the coffin look like?
Made of wood and iron, but like heavy iron bindings. Runic magic inscribed across it. You look up, and as you like put your hand into the room, you realize like there's a sudden chill, and you realize that you were getting interference from your observer when it went in there. Whatever that half orb in the ceiling is, it's dampening the magic in this room.
Oh boy.
To the point where it seems to be putting those creatures into hibernation.
Might not want to poke at it then.
Like, they woke up because they heard the thing, but they don't seem to be reacting at all. So, something opened the door, but they're still here.
No.
I want to leave the door open and cast alarm on it, with the trigger being when any creature enters that door, I want it to ping me, which wakes me up with alarm's spell description.
Okay, you do so, and you head back to your quarters.
Okay.
About 4 a.m., maybe, you get a ping that the door gets closed.
Who doesn't want a long rest?
You don't, apparently.
Yep. At this point, have I gotten a short rest? I guess so.
You've gotten a short rest, yeah.
Okie dokie.
Day 5 begins.
Up for day
We have a
5.
short rest.
You
As
do-
in
everyone
us
gets a short rest. Darren gets a long rest.
No, as in the players.
Oh,
Can we have a short, small break?
Oh.
as a note, we are approaching the 3-hour mark, so I am thinking we might have to split this murder mystery into 3 sessions instead of 2.
Remember this was one
probably.
session?
I honestly thought it would be 1 session, but you guys really want the detail. So-
We want the
You
details.
underestimate us.
Murder shit! Of course we want the details! We're trying to
Okay.
solve the mystery!
My ears, thank you. Good lord.
Sorry, Lydia.
Um,
If we are going to split this,
I mean, there's no way we're going to solve it in the next 10 minutes.
End point, because that would be very
Yes.
convenient.
Yeah.
We will say that this is the end point. Actually, no. I will say that we will start the morning for the next day, and that will be our end point, because there's something very important that's going to happen the next morning.
Uh-oh.
You all gather in the dining room for breakfast. Everyone sort of files in, bleary-eyed, tired. You see Mrs. Senthal, Mr. Senthal, and their daughter file in as well. Mrs. Senthal looks a little more rosy-cheeked. Roland and Mrs. Devram and Darren all file in together. Roland is quite... He's a little more open to you, Darren, now, and is actually quite a little not clingy, but like he's touchy. And you know, you all file in. It's early morning. You're all like looking around, and then there's a scream as Mrs. Groan points up at the ceiling of the dining room. And you all look up, and the ceiling of the dining room is this, like, levitating pool type thing. Like, the ceiling is made of water, and it's, like, floating and contained. And you all look up, and floating in the water is a corpse.
Oh!
Do we get to know which one?
It seems gnomish. And you know that there are a few gnomish engineers on board.
Oh,
And that is where we're going to leave it for today.
Finest scraps.
I hope you all had an interesting session. I hope you all enjoyed. We are going to call it here. Thank you all very much for watching, for joining for the story. I do enjoy a little bit of murder mystery. I didn't expect it to take this long, but we will hopefully be back week after next with the conclusion, or maybe part 3 or 4. Who knows? Well, I'm trying, but everybody likes the details of the story. So
What if it accidentally kills someone and then there's a second murder we need to investigate?
Great.
I mean, this campaign's been going over 2 years. I don't know what you expect of us at this point.
It is true.
been like-
63 sessions in, and we're still going. I'm honestly quite impressed with us.
I think I did a like napkin math calculation. In real time, our party has been together for less than a year.
Oh yeah, in real time, your party has been together for less than 3 months.
Yeah,
But
it's
that's
like
how it goes. Like,
How many party members have we had in that?
I would
Write it down.
9, I think. Yeah,
A
9.
few.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Okay,
wanted to
Boris.
put...
We are going to go and raid an Edit Edward, who's currently playing Schedule 1, apparently. Thank you all very much for joining us this evening, everybody. I hope you all had fun, and we shall see you all next time. Ta-ta for now. And, is it Wednesday yet?
Really?
Huh?
the 90s called.
Shameless.
They want their cheesy
Yeah.
catchphrases
Critical Role
back.
called. They want their catchphrase